Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all my fall makeup suggestions, colors that I've been using for a long time that I love to wear in fall, and then a few new things that I picked up. So let's first start with the new items. I was really intrigued by this Smashbox palette. It's a contour and highlight palette. The middle row is all matte, so it's some contour and then like a setting powder, and then everything else is shimmery. So I have one of the highlighters on my cheeks. Quite intense, though. This is not a very subtle palette, but you can just go with a lighter hand. I put a little bit like under my brow bone. I used the contour powder first before I applied my blush. And the formula is really, really beautiful. I really was impressed by the texture of the powders. It's not as lovely as my Charlotte Tilbury face palette, but this is a great option if you want, you can use a lot of those colors as eye colors. So I threw the contour shade on my lid, in the crease. You can use the shimmer colors for the eyes. So there's a lot of options for that. But I really have been enjoying that, and especially if you love highlighters and really shimmery face products that can be used all over. That's a great palette to try. Then I picked up some lip colors. You guys know I've already talked about the Pat McGrath Lust Gloss in Astral. This is an absolutely gorgeous gloss for adding over top of lip colors. I have Donatella today from Pat McGrath on, and I love Astral over top of it. Just beautiful. Such a gorgeous gloss. It's like kind of like a brownie peach. And then this one is a little more coral, which actually is not very fall, but I love the color. And definitely the texture of these, very creamy. I mean, they're slightly sticky, but not tacky. Very creamy. Look at that gorgeous coral. Oh my gosh. It's not as bright a coral maybe that you would wear for summer, so maybe it could be for fall. And listen, I wear the same kind of makeup year round. I may throw a fall lip in here and there, may try a fall eye here and there, but I like what I like. I'm not completely revamping everything just for different seasons. So some of these, I tend to go with like a coral lip still. I like a shimmery eye and often a light eye. Sometimes I'll go with a slightly darker eye, and I'll show you some of the options that I have here. Then the Dior Rouge Dior Ultra Rouge lip colors. And I have to say, there was only one that I liked by them. This one was Ultra Tender, which was a little too brown for my taste, but probably would look beautiful on a lot of different skin tones. They're like a little bit of like looks like a balm almost. They're very creamy. They're very buttery soft, but a lot of texture. So it feels like a balm, but it has the coverage of a lipstick. They're not as long lasting as maybe a lipstick that's a little bit drier or more of a matte formulation, but I did find that they did last, a good amount of the day, probably like 4 or 5 hours. Then this one, which is Ultra Lust. This one's a little bit more peachy. And once again, I just thought it was a little too intense. I wanted a slightly more of a subtle color. It looked just a little too strong for me. But I sometimes, I like, slightly more browny, peachy colors for fall, but I don't want them to be too much. And both of those felt a little too intense for me. However, this one I loved. The Ultra Dior 999. This red is beautiful. However, if you want a red lipstick, and maybe you don't want it to be a very full coverage, you don't want a lot of like very opaque, you want a bold red, but you want to have a little bit of sheerness to it, this one. The texture has that like slightly balmy feeling, but it's not extremely thick. It's not extremely opaque. So you could probably just kind of put it on and maybe dab it to make it a little more sheer. You could apply it all over a few times to give it much more of a bold appearance. I loved, loved, loved the red. That was an absolutely beautiful color. The glosses, I loved the glosses. That Astral gloss, I mean, it's just gonna go with everything. Right, moving on to tried and true. Tried and true favorites, or colors that I've had for a long time. Donatella by Pat McGrath. That's what I have on my lips today. It's just a great, how do I describe this? It looks very like browny peach, but it doesn't come off too 90s on the lips. It just, however, if I apply too much, if I go around and around and around my lips, it'll look very 90s. It's like, whoop, your lips look like mud. That's what they look, mud. And that's not cute. So I just go once around my lips and blend it together. Maybe I'll touch up just a little bit, but the formula is very creamy. It's very opaque. It's very full coverage. And it feels like it's going to be dry on your lips because it's so full coverage, because it gives so much pigment. But it's not. It lasts a very long time, you know, for hours and hours and hours. I'm talking almost the full day. You may need to touch up just a little bit. But what are these? The Luxe Trance lipsticks. Whatever color you can find that you like, get one. Especially, I mean, if you love Donatella shade, that's great. But there's other shades, and the formula is just perfection. What do I have here? Oh, Too Faced Melted Chocolate. The liquid lipstick by Too Faced. I love these. I think most of them were discontinued. This color still stayed around. It's called Chocolate Milkshake. I really love it. This like creamy, I mean, all the colors look the same. It's kind of this like creamy, peachy brown. It's a liquid lipstick, but it's not exceptionally matte, not exceptionally drying, and a lot of coverage. And I don't know, I like the little sponge applicator that it comes with. It does smell. It smells like chocolate. If that's not your thing, then you might not like these. But I really enjoy that color, and I'm glad that I think they discontinued most of the colors from that collection, except that one and one other one, and I'm glad, because those were the two, that was one of the best colors. Sorry, the lighting is like going in and out of my office. It's like the sun's coming in, the sun's going back to under a cloud, so my lighting kind of goes in and out, that's why. All right, let me just clean off my hand, and I'll move on to some more lip colors. This color by Estee Lauder, that is, Estee Lauder, the Pure Color Love Lipstick in Blase Buff 100. It's actually a really nice fall color. As you can see, all my fall colors are they're just what I normally wear, deepened up with a brown undertone. Peachy, deepened up with a brown undertone. And that's what I like to wear. I like what I like. And because during the summer, I like things to be a little bit more, have a little more, sorry, my hair is getting caught, a little more shimmer, a little bit lighter in color, not glittery, but just a light, kind of a light peach or a light pink. And in fall, just to kind of deepen up what I already love. And that's a good tip. Like if you love pinks during the summer, find deeper rose colors for winter. And if you like peaches, just find more rich kind of sepia colors, kind of burnt orange, or just kind of rich peaches with a little bit of a brown undertone, like a lot of these that I'm showing. And oh, this by Nude Sticks, Belle. This is a matte lip stick. It's a matte lip and cheek pencil, but I just use it for the lips. This color is beautiful. It's a gorgeous like 90s lip without looking too muddy. And that's the problem with 90s lips. For some girls can pull up that muddy look, good. Do you? I cannot. It's like, ooh, your lips, ooh, they look dirty. This color is, and I love the formula. It's a matte, you know, jumbo lip pencil, but it doesn't feel very dry on the lips, but it lasts a very long time. This is a very long wearing pencil. What else here? Oh, Mare, is that how you say it? By MAC. This is a little bit bolder. This is a little more rose color. So a little wine, a little rose, not as peachy as these other two. And this one is definitely only a one swipe needed because it can definitely darken up. And I find with a lot of these more opaque fall lip colors, I'm deeming them fall lip colors. They could be your everyday lip color all year round. but in my mind, this is how I see fall makeup. And so with a lot of them, one swipe is all I need, because if I go a few times around, that's where it starts to really get thick and it like oxidizes almost, and then it's too dark. Next is Neutral Rose by Bobbi Brown. This is one of her Luxe lip colors. This is a gorgeous color. It is a neutral rose. The name is perfection. Just a little more plum if you like that. I tend to go more peachy browns, somewhat pinks. I don't wear a lot of plums, but this is plum enough for me. This actually is quite plum, but I do love it. When I want more of a berry lip, you know, you kind of want that wine-ish berry lip, I love Soft Berry by Bobbi Brown in her Luxe lip colors. It's right here. Little more berry color. So I guess there's more red in it. This has a little more brown. Both are more wine-based. I see these in the more wine category. But like I said, one is a little more brown. The other one, Neutral Rose, and Soft Berry is more berry. That is all the lip colors that I have. And moving on, I've got some cheek and eye colors now. Let's move on to, let's do some eye colors. I love this palette by Tom Ford for the fall. The new Dip eyeshadow palette. Let me see. Yes. They're all shimmer colors, so there's no matte in here. And it's just some taupe colors, some champagne. This one, it looks like a little bit of a rose gold. It's a little more rose gold. And this one's a little taupey. Formula is beautiful. The shimmer in it is less shimmery, less glittery, more shimmery. Look at that. Yeah. Just gorgeous formulation, gorgeous texture. If you've never tried his, this palette in particular, this is my favorite palette by him. I've tried other ones by him, and I just don't like the formula as much as I like the new Dip. And the texture is beautiful, and it looks a little bit darker on the eyes than it does on my hand. So that's why I consider it more of a fall palette. Then of course we've got Burberry Pale Barley. It's the best, it really is. I've worn it in my last video. It's a matte shade, though it looks very kind of dark in here. It goes on very light, and it's kind of a one shadow swipe that you will absolutely love. So if you like a lot of the eye looks that I do, this is just more of a matte formula and a little more brown, a little more of a gray brown. I love gray browns. And I have, you know what I really love? Are they discontinuing this? Now I'm just thinking about it. The Urban Decay Naked collection. Naked 2 is actually a great fall palette. Like, there's so many good taupey colors, gray tones. I just see this as a fall palette, but now I have to check to see if they're discontinuing it. I'm sure one of you will know, and you'll be like, yes, they discontinued it. And then I've got a lot of jumbo eye pencils that I love for fall. I'm sorry, my hair keeps getting caught here. The Ombre Black Star by Terry in Frozen Quartz. It's like rose gold. That's what it is. It's like a shimmery rose gold, which you may think for summer, but it deepens up on the lid, so I love this more for fall. And then the one I have on today, Armani, number 9, Eye Tint. You guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know this was my jam a long time ago. I wore it all the time. So many of you purchased it after hearing me rave about it, so I know many of you love it. The Sephora Jumbo Eye Pencil in, what is this? What's the color? I gotta find, oh, taupe. Oh my gosh, it's such a good color. It's such a good color. It's this like shimmery gray taupe color. Yeah. My lighting kind of blows it out here, but it's just this shimmery, gorgeous taupe color. There's the Frozen Quartz. Stunning. And, you know, the Armani eye tint, it's a little shimmery, but the shimmer kind of settles down. So if you're not too much into the shimmer, the Burberry Pale Barley would be perfect for you. And then the Nude Sticks in Twilight. This is a little bit darker. So if you want a little more of a smoky eye, that dark brown is beautiful. The formula is very, very creamy and doesn't crease, lasts all day. Are those all my eye colors? Those are all my eye colors. Let me just wipe these off and we'll move on to cheek colors. The Charlotte Tilbury in Cheek to Chic in the color First Love. It's this, what is it? It's like it's a peachy brown, kind of almost a brick peachy brown, but very, very subtle, very, just a great, almost like ruddy cheeks. You know, when you're out in the cold, it makes your cheeks look a little ruddy. That is kind of what that mimics. Been using this for years, and I love it all year round, but especially in the fall when you just want a neutral cheek. You look, I don't want to pop a pink, I don't want a pop of coral, I want a neutral cheek, like my neutral clothes. Burberry, Tangerine. Yeah, Tangerine blush. That's it, number 6. Just perfection. I pulled it out the other day and I was like, I need to put this back into my rotation because I've had my like kind of summer cheek colors, and this one I've been wearing for years and it's perfect. Oh, the Marc Jacobs Air blushes in Flesh and Fantasy. This is definitely, you can see how neutral it is. It almost looks like my sweater. It's like very neutral, and it's a little more of, I don't know, like a darker neutral rose, kind of almost like that lipstick, mixed with, you know, a light shimmer powder. So together, it's just a very, it looks just like fall on your cheeks. Now, if you do want a little bit of pop of color, I sometimes like a more brighter pink, and because it looks like when you've been out in the cold and your cheeks start to turn a little pink, I don't know, they've really taken away Gucci makeup from a lot of different retailers. I know Saks still carries it, you can get on the Gucci website, but I mean, it's very sad because Gucci makeup, I have to tell you, the blushes, the eyeshadows, they're really amazing. The powder formula is fantastic. I fell in love with the brand as soon as I tried it. So it's really sad, but you can still get it, so don't worry. Coral Flower. Look at that pop of gorgeousness. It says Coral Flower, but I feel like this is a little bit more pink and just really gives that gorgeous flush to the cheeks. And, oh, this one is an older color. You're going to be like, can you even still find it? You can. I found it online. I try before I go through all this stuff to make sure I can find everything online. This color by Kevyn Aucoin called Ariana. Look at that blush color. Look at that pale brown undertoned peach blush. That, to me, is fall. In person, it's even a little more brown, and it's just a gorgeous, the texture of these blushes is just, it's kind of like, it's very, kind of swirl your brush in it, and it kind of gets a little powdery, but it just glides right over the cheeks. And then, of course, this is not very fall-like because of the middle 2 blush colors, but I wear this so much that anytime I do a makeup video talking about must-haves, I'm always going to put this in. The Charlotte Tilbury palette that I bought from the Nordstrom anniversary sale, this was either loved or hated. I loved it. It's the contour powder for me, the blush colors, the highlighters, it's perfection. And I feel like if you kind of want to just stay with the cheek colors that you're loving and using, it's not universal though. I know many of you reached out to me and said it's not great for certain like darker skins and even some medium skin tones it cannot work on. So that's the only bummer. But if it does suit your skin tone and you're interested in trying it, I really would recommend it. The powder is beautiful. The contour, the airbrush setting powder, the blushes, the highlighters, the whole thing is well done. Well done, Charlotte Tilbury. And that's it. Those are my fall makeup favorites in every category. And then I didn't do foundation. Maybe I'll do a foundation video soon. I mean, to be honest, I'm like down to only a few that I'm really liking and rotating through, maybe like 3 or 4, and I'm just liking it. I'm not in this whole, like, I want to test out every foundation that's out there. I've kind of gone back to, like, I like everything looking great every day. Like today I have the Armani Power Fabric, and I just go back to it over and over again. It gets a little shiny, so I put on some powder before the camera just because the camera captures some when my skin's a little bit more shiny. But in person, it's not as shiny, and it's just it's a very velvety, airbrushed finish. And I will link all of these that I talked about down below. And be sure to, I'll link the video below also about my beauty favorites, because that discount code is coming to an end next week for one of the face oils in that. So be sure, if you wanted to pick up that face oil, that you grab it. I'll go and put that information all down in the description box below. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.